One of a parent's biggest worries is letting their teen get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's why getting professional, personal instruction is so important. The Wichita Driving School is licensed by the state of Kansas and offers the most classes per month of any driving school. With the most students trained in Wichita last year, it's obvious students and parents like Wichita Driving School for the convenience
and professional one-on-one instruction.
Wichita Driving School, where you're driven to be the best.
Welcome to Valley Center, a beautiful, friendly community just 9 miles north of downtown Wichita. Come discover Valley Center and take a walk through historic downtown. Check out unique restaurants, shop at locally owned businesses, or play around at Valley Point Golf Course. Valley Center is building on its proud heritage while welcoming new ideas, new businesses, and new families. Valley Center will exceed your expectations. Discover Valley Center, an incredible place to call home.
At 1-800-JUNK-PRO, we make dumpster rental easy. We rent small, medium, and large residential driveway-friendly dumpsters. No surprises, no hidden charges. Our dumpster rental rates include delivery and 7 days of rental time. 1-800-JUNK-PRO Dumpster Rental. We deliver it, you fill it, we pick it up.
Whenever we go to a local event here in Valley, we all want good food for reasonable prices with a friendly face behind it. Well, luckily, there's an option. The Food Guy. Located in a signature truck, keep an eye out for him at the next public event you make an appearance at. Or if you're hosting an event yourself and want a friendly catering option. Or if you have other questions, you can call him at 316-253-8832.
We are dedicated to helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones. Each creation contains a small amount of cremains, capturing the essence in a swirl of color and ashes, sealed forever within beautiful art glass. Ash weights provide a unique and beautiful way to hold and treasure your memories while honoring the spirit.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe. We all want Kansas businesses, schools, and other services to safely remain open. So we all need to do our part and encourage others to join us. To keep Kansas open this holiday season, wear your mask, wash your hands, avoid large social gatherings, and keep your distance. Kansas businesses depend on it.
One of a parent's biggest worries is letting their teen get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's why getting professional, personal instruction is so important. The Wichita Driving School is licensed by the state of Kansas and offers the most classes per month of any driving school. With the most students trained in Wichita last year, it's obvious students and parents like Wichita Driving School for the convenience
and professional one-on-one instruction.
Wichita Driving School, where you're driven to be the best.
Welcome to Valley Center, a beautiful, friendly community just 9 miles north of downtown Wichita. Come discover Valley Center and take a walk through historic downtown. Check out unique restaurants, shop at locally owned businesses, or play around at Valley Point Golf Course. Valley Center is building on its proud heritage while welcoming new ideas, new businesses, and new families. Valley Center will exceed your expectations. Discover Valley Center, an incredible place to call home.
At 1-800-JUNK-PRO, we make dumpster rental easy. We rent small, medium, and large residential driveway-friendly dumpsters. No surprises, no hidden charges. Our dumpster rental rates include delivery and 7 days of rental time. 1-800-JUNK-PRO Dumpster Rental. We deliver it, you fill it, we pick it up.
Whenever we go to a local event here in Valley, we all want good food for reasonable prices with a friendly face behind it. Well, luckily, there's an option. The Food Guy. Located in his signature truck, keep an eye out for him at the next public event you make an appearance at. Or if you're hosting an event yourself and want a friendly catering option. Or if you have other questions, you can call him at 316-253-8832.
We are dedicated to helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones. Each creation contains a small amount of cremains, capturing the essence in a swirl of color and ashes, sealed forever within beautiful art glass. Ash weights provide a unique and beautiful way to hold and treasure your memories while honoring the spirit.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe. We all want Kansas businesses, schools, and other services to safely remain open. So we all need to do our part and encourage others to join us. To keep Kansas open this holiday season, wear your mask, wash your hands, avoid large social gatherings, and keep your distance. Kansas businesses depend on it.
One of a parent's biggest worries is letting their teen get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's why getting professional, personal instruction is so important. The Wichita Driving School is licensed by the state of Kansas and offers the most classes per month of any driving school. With the most students trained in Wichita last year, it's obvious students and parents like Wichita Driving School for the convenience.
Coas, joined alongside by Caleb Rose as your Valley Center Hornets take on the Maize South Mavericks. It's playoff time. It's a chance to end our rival season. Caleb, your Valley Center Hornets sitting at 15-5, second seeded in this SubState. They take on a do-or-die basketball game this phenomenal season. The Hornets don't want it to end tonight. We don't want it to end tonight, Caleb. What do you see happening in this game?
Well, Austin, as far as Maize South goes, they were in AVCTL Division II play last year. This year they moved on up to Division I, and so we haven't got to see this clash, this matchup that we've seen in years past. It always produces a good matchup, whether or not the Hornets are 0-17 like they have been in some years, or Maize South has been impeccable with guys like Kale Cordanoe and other things like that. But no matter what, this clash always produces a great matchup. It's always fun to watch. So that's what you can expect here tonight. Maize South coming in at 10-10. Not their typical season. They have some younger guys starting. They have some experience on the court. Parker Scott, one of the big guys that I'll talk about as the night goes on. Isaiah Atwater, another younger guy that I love to talk about. He's a sophomore this year. But Austin, we know this is going to be a good one. And then the winner of this will go on to play the winner of Eisenhower versus Maize, and that's going to be the biggest one. My biggest thing here tonight, Austin, for these two teams would be focus on this game. Everyone knows the focus is Maize right now. We want to beat Maize. That's how we get to the state tournament. But right now, you have to be in the right here, right now, and that's going to be my biggest thing.
Well, Caleb, you talk about the Hornets, eyes on Maize a little bit, but this Maize South team, they may be 10-10, but I heard a player just tell Gabe Phillips on our team, oh, but you guys are Valley Center. And it's never truly been Valley Center, that powerhouse team that they are this year. And so this is going to make for a good game. It's always a fun matchup. Caleb, what do you got?
Well, and then down here, obviously, I don't know if you guys can see it on the screen, but there's student stands getting filled out. I mean, this is how it's been in years past, and unfortunately, they're taking up almost the entire visitor side. But Coach Unrau told us we had some tickets to give away. Get everyone here we can, because he wants this gym. Fortunately enough, home field advantage here for the Hornets. He wants this gym to be electric.
And we'll be back after our national anthem for the starting lineups coming up.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and we welcome you here to Valley Center for the SubState matchup between the Maize South Mavericks and your Valley Center Hornets. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to ask the please rise and the Valley Center Hornet Pep Band on the direction of Carol Whitaker and Jane Verboon plays our national anthem. good evening, gentlemen, and we welcome you to the Valley Center on behalf of athletic director Chris Evanson.
And back here at Hornet Studios, Caleb, a little matchup that we got going on tonight is two future college teammates in Parker Scott and Gabe Phillips. They're going to be playing NAIA basketball at Kansas Wesleyan. You see just over there, some of the coaches from that team are coming to watch their future players. How's that matchup going to look tonight, Caleb?
Well, as I mentioned in pregame, Parker Scott's one of my favorite players on this team. Multi-sport athlete. I believe he's playing baseball this spring, but overall athlete. He's tough. He knows how to get it done. Amazing defender. And he started to develop scoring-wise so far this year. So that's going to be my biggest player here tonight for the Mavericks. And then we know everything about Gabe Phillips. I mean, feels like a broken record talking about how amazing he is this season. And he's continuing to dominate, continuing to be a great scorer, inside rebounding, opening up opportunities for his teammates. Those are going to be my two biggest players tonight.
Well, for the Maize South Mavericks and this Hornets team, it's do or die basketball, like we said, Caleb. What are the keys to victory so that for the Hornets and for the Mavericks to come out on top tonight and ultimately get that game against Maize?
Well, Austin, I hammered this hard and hopefully not too hard last game against Andover, but the biggest problem was the shooting percentage. We've seen the Hornets jump up shooting percentage-wise. They were shooting 35-40% for first half of the season. They bumped it up to 45%, but last game it was a total struggle. They shot 33% from the field. You can't win a basketball game like that. If you're the Hornets, you have to be able to knock down your shots and knock them down consistently. If you're the Mavericks, I want to see them attack. They were a little slow in their game versus Maize, which is the one that I watched, and they were just slow. They didn't have that high pace that we see Maize has. Maize South, go in there, attack, hit your opponent in the face hard.
Well, the starters for the Maize South Mavericks is going to be number 1, Parker Scott. Number 3, Isaiah Atwater. Number 22, Javon Buchanan. Interestingly enough, he's a transfer from Indiana. And then we got number 2, Byron Fitzpatrick. And the last starter is going to be number 21, the senior, the quarterback too for this Maize South team, Calvin Seals. And then for your Valley Center Hornets, we got number 1, Caleb Harden, number 2, Eli Isaacs, number 5, Braden Dalrymple, number 20, Gabe Phillips, and number 32, Noah Simmons. There's so much bad blood between these two teams in years past, Caleb. This year, Hornets didn't get to play this team in the regular season like they normally do, or in January Jam like sometimes they have in the past. It's the first meeting between these two teams. Like you said, a young team for this Maize South team, and also a new faces. A lot of new faces will be on the court tonight. And this is just it's playoff basketball, March Madness, anything can happen. And I think Maize South knows that. They are technically the underdogs in this game, but they're not going to come out like it. They want to play with everything they got.
When you said it right there, technically the underdogs. There's no underdog in this game. As I mentioned, years past, it doesn't matter records. This is always going to be a head-clashing game. Fortunately enough, Hornets have home field advantage, and that's worked to their advantage in the past. Getting in the heads of players, it certainly worked out. We'll see if it pays off tonight.
Right there, a rebound by Noah Simmons, the big guy on the inside. It's going to be Gabe Phillips guarding that number 22 Buchanan, who is an Indiana transfer. He's 6'5", but he's also a guard-like player. Harden drives in, out to Phillips. He'll drive in, take a jumper from the elbow, and he knocks it down. Gabe Phillips and the Hornet offense working early.
Well, I'm going to abuse the fact that there's a crowd here tonight because it sounds like before COVID even happened. I mean, it's just incredible. The missed shot and then a shot by Gabe Phillips. This is electric right now. Right there, a steal by Harden. He tried to jump stop and he missed right there. He's kind of limping after that. One thing to note about Harden, we haven't talked about it since the beginning of the season, but he didn't play basketball last year because he had surgery on his foot. And I know just being good friends with him, it still bugs him a couple times here and there. So right there, maybe shaking up a little bit, but he passes into Isaacs. Hornets on offense. Well, and the fortunate thing for the Hornets is he's been able to find a shot once again, and that's why his numbers have shot up so far this season, but that's been a big impact this year.
That will be a travel right there for Noah Simmons. He was trying to work against Buchanan. And like I said, Caleb, I did go see Maize South play once this year, and it was interestingly enough against Miles Thompson, the former Hornet, and Buchanan held his own against a great player like Thompson, and right now it looks like he's going to hold his own against Simmons on the inside.
Well, not to mention Buchanan inside, but look at the help he has. It's inside. Simmons gets surrounded, and that's why he travels right there. The pressure on the inside from this Mavericks team has been great.
Right there, that'll be a foul called on Parker Scott as Caleb Harden draws the charge, and that's going to be a fun matchup to watch also, as Harden been a great defender for this Hornets team all year. Isaacs drive baseline out to Phillips. He's going to take a three. That one off the mark. Offensive board by Simmons. He goes up. He missed it, and then he almost got the rebound again, but that'll be a jump ball. Possession does go to Valley Center, so they're going to keep the ball. The Hornets are, and they have another opportunity to extend a lead.
Well, when it comes playoff time, this is the biggest thing, Austin, those extra effort plays. How do you separate yourself from your opponent? Because these are two very talented teams. It's the effort plays that's going to decide it.
Right there, the Hornets luck out, getting the ball into Phillips. Isaac's going to work against Atwater, the sophomore. Over to Simmons. He's going to work at the high post. We see the Hornets offense go through there a lot this year. Isaac's going to take a jumper almost identical to Phillips, and then Downful gets a rebound. Here's Isaacs out for three. An early 5-0 lead for the Hornets.
Well, Austin, out right there, that was beautiful. There's the extra effort play, and then Isaac slips out. He's looking for the open gap. I was going to mention it earlier with Gabe Phillips, but just looking for the open space and being able to find it is huge.
Parker Scott, he's going to play college ball. For his three-point shooting, it's been great since his freshman year, Caleb. That's when I remember him knocking down a bunch of shots in the varsity level. So right here, he's a senior now, knocks one down for Maize South. Gabe Phillips going to take a three. He's 0 for 2 on the night from behind the arc. Buchanan going to bring the ball down the floor. He's not shy to play the guard position, even though he's 6'5". He took the three. He missed. Defensive board by the Hornets. Harden in trouble. He'll find Dalrymple. Back to Phillips, and the Hornets offense going to set up. They got two players ready to sub in when play stops.
Well, you mentioned Buchanan. He's carrying the ball down the floor there in transition. He's certainly going to give Noah Simmons a night, because even though he's playing in the post right now, he's going to try and spread the floor on the offensive side. That's going to be big.
Right there, a block by Buchanan, and then a couple of Hornets in trouble. Harden going to take a three, and that one air ball. A couple of people fall down trying to get the rebound. Caleb Harden, his first shot in the last couple of games have been air balls, but then he makes up for it later in the game. Smelsley and Ashley and Cade Wilson all check in for the Hornets. They've been a great second crew coming in for this Hornets team this year.
Well, Austin, I want to go back to that last play. We talked about Buchanan, and he's got the 4-inch difference there, or Simmons has the 4-inch height advantage, but the athleticism, the guard play that Buchanan is able to provide is big in getting that block.
Right there, a missed shot by Scott. Here's Phillips, he'll drive, he'll find Isaacs, but Isaacs couldn't hold on to it. The Hornets offense, they love to play in transition, but right there, turn it over.
Well, right there, we got the early start. Everything's getting heated up. As I've said in years past, how do the Hornets stay consistent? I wouldn't be surprised if Maize South scores here. Coach on now to take a timeout, because he doesn't want this Mavericks team to go on a run. You got to stay calm, stay consistent, and I know the difference is only 2, but it matters throughout the game.
Right there, an offensive board by Colin Shields, the quarterback. He's a hard-working player for Maize South. Right here, a Buchanan 2-point shot, and he knocks it down. 5 games, with just under 4 to play.
Well, there you see it right there, the Jokic type of length. He gets in, gets that easy jumper. That's what a player like Buchanan can do to you.
Isaacs drove in, he missed. Looks like he got hit in the eye. Here's Shields down underneath. That will be a missed shot by Colin Shields. Great job by a couple of Hornets to get underneath and affect his shot, and that'll be a foul called. That one called on Shields is frustration foul maybe. Noah Simmons along with Caleb Harden back into the game for Valley Center, along with number 2 Byron Fitzpatrick coming in for Maize South, and we got number 5 Jaron Askren.
Austin, couple substitutions right there. You talked about the second crew that the Hornets have. That's been big in their season so far this year, but it's been the starters. The starters win out. A little bit of run here by the Mavs, make it an even game. How do the starters respond?
Right here, it's Simmons on the inside. He almost got the ball stolen, and it finally does get stolen by the pesky Maize South defense. Here is Atwater. He's going to go to the corner.
Well, and this is just an overall athletic team. They're always looking to hog the basketball on the defensive side, and they run a typical man-to-man defense. But it's just the length, the quickness, the quick twitch muscles that make them great on the defensive side of the ball.
Right there, that'll be the first foul called on a Hornet, and it was called on Cade Wilson, the junior. Right there, going to take a three from the corner is Atwater. He knocks it down, and an early lead for the Mavericks.
Well, right there, that was really simple strategy, but just using someone as a screen who has the ball, and then a quick handoff right behind. That's a big play, a difference-making play in this game.
Parker Scott, a steal. He'll push the pace, trying to work against Wilson, and then Isaacs will steal it. 2-on-1 situation for Eli Isaacs, and he missed the layup. And that'll be a foul called on Isaacs as he tried to get his own rebound. A couple of Hornets missing some shots that they usually make. They're 15-5, but in their 5 losses, Caleb, it has been almost the exact same thing. Just not been able to hit the shots that they need to hit in those 5 losses. Right now, it's looking like that for Hornets in the first quarter.
Well, and that's what I talked about against Andover. The difference, we saw how atrocious the shooting was in that first half for both squads. It wasn't just the Hornets, but then Andover started to expand on the shooting percentage side, and that's when they took over that game.
Right there, a rebound by Isaacs after a miss asking three. Dalrymple didn't shoot the three, but he knows he can. Here's Isaacs up top trying to set up another offense. The Hornets are. This Maize South defense has been excellent after that first 2 minutes of play.
Well, you get the crowd and you tend to get frantic. That's when you miss shots. I love that right there by Eli Isaacs. Holds it up top. Hey, we're going to slow this down. We're going to calm down for a moment and get a bucket. That's what great leaders do. That was an amazing little thing there by Eli Isaacs.
Right there, Gabe Phillips, he scored against his future teammate. That was number 1, Parker Scott. Like we said, that matchup's going to be fun to watch. Then Byron Fitzpatrick, a defensive back for this Maize South team, goes in and he gets 2 points on Harden.
Well, and right there, you mentioned defensive back, but a beautiful first step right there by Fitzpatrick, and there's just no catching up to him at that point.
Good ball movement for the Hornets. Down on the inside. He'll bring it back out, set up something for this Hornets offense once again. Into the hands of Isaacs, the ball goes. 1:25 to go in the first quarter. Inside out game is what the Hornets need to get back to. Simmons over to Phillips. He'll go up and he gets the layup for the Hornets to bring it back within 1.
Well, here comes the post entry. We saw after that 5-0 run right there by the Hornets, they continued to try and push it inside. It stopped working, but now we have the cuts trying to help the post entry, help other aspects of the offensive side, and there it pays off. It paid off on the last possession as well.
Right there, an air ball as it looks like Simmons may have got a piece of it. Dalrymple will go in, back out to Isaacs. He's going to knock down a 3. Eli Isaacs, that's his second 3-ball of the night.
Well, the tide has certainly turned, Austin. I talked about consistency, and the Hornets started off strong, and here they are finishing strong. We'll see if it stays throughout the quarter, but this is how you get it done. Run with the momentum in your home stadium.
Right there, Askren missed the 3. And one thing to note, Caleb, make it short, but Acacia did change the rules on some of the celebrations, and some of the celebrations that multiple Hornets do can't be done anymore. Right there, that'll be a foul called as somebody got too aggressive. That should be called on Simmons. It will be called on Caleb Harden. And now the Mavericks have a chance to end the quarter on a good note.
Well, Austin, crowd's getting big here. We can hardly see the floor from where we're at the moment, but electrifies the intensity here in the waning moments of the first quarter.
And right here, Atwater gonna make a move. He'll go up with a 15-foot jumper. He knocks it down, and we are headed to the second quarter, tied at 12 here in the SubState playoff game in Valley Center, Kansas. We'll be back when at the start of the second quarter. It'll be Maize South ball to start this second quarter. Caleb, we're tied at 12. We knew it was going to be a dogfight all game. What'd you see in that first quarter?
Well, I saw a quarter of runs. There was back and forth play, and then Isaiah Atwater really clutch, ending off that first quarter on a good note for the Mavericks. Now we're at an even ball game. Fresh start, 0-0 is the score on the scoreboard. That's the mentality right here. How do you better your opponent here in the second quarter?
And we'll see Maize South ball after Isaacs tipped it out of bounds moments ago. Here's that switching defense that the Hornets run. That puts Atwater and Simmons on each other. Simmons right now playing good defense over Atwater. He takes a jumper and he missed, and that should be a foul called. That one's going to be called on number 5, Askren, for Maize South, and it'll be Valley Center ball.
Well, and you pointed it out right there, Simmons on Atwater. Great job by Simmons to pick up his man, stay in there, stay strong, and get a hand in the face of the shot. But that's just incredible defense by a postman, Noah Simmons.
Here's Dalrymple, gonna work. He's double teamed. Hornets moving the ball around well. The key to success for this Hornets team all year has been the back cuts, Caleb. It's been the ball movement, off-ball movement. Everything about this Hornets offense has worked pretty well when it comes to playing inside the arc. Right there, Dalrymple, a little reverse layup, and then he's fouled, so he'll head to the free throw line. Try to complete a 3-point play to start this quarter for the Hornets.
Well, that's what I'm talking about right there, Austin. The post entry has opened up so much this year. Noah Simmons, he's averaging 8 points a game, but the ability that he has to open up other things for players with a ball in the middle, everyone cutting around him, and the great passing he has, that really electrifies that offense. Another example of it right there.
And that will be free throw made by Dalrymple. Last game, Dalrymple, he had 15 points, his season high in Andover. Is Atwater working it, now it's back on to Noah Simmons, and then Buchanan working against Isaacs. Isaacs a very good, pesky defender. Buchanan throws it out of bounds. Great defense by Eli Isaacs.
Well, and that's what leaders do. They get in the head of their opponents, maybe a little trash talking, but just great, overall great play there by Eli Isaacs. And you know that Buchanan's going to be feeling it on this possession. We'll see if the Hornets are able to take advantage of it.
Right there, the Hornets try to run that back cut play inside. Simmons trying to work against Buchanan. Up and under move, but he got it stripped. Here is Atwater, and he will travel. Oh, it will be a foul call. That foul called on Eli Isaacs, his second. Almost was a travel. 50-50 call right there, but that's Isaacs' second personal. He'll head to the bench. Cade Wilson into the game for Valley Center.
Well, I want to go back to that last possession. Owen Klein got the steal right there and pushed it down the court. But that's what great post defenses do. Not only is it a one-on-one situation, but as a guard, you have the opportunity to get your hands in there, try and get a steal. Klein did a great job of it right there and got a steal for his team.
No foul right there. Simmons almost had the steal. Here is Askren off on the mark for 3, and then a rebound by Simmons. Back to Harden, who's going to bring it across the equator and start the offense for Valley Center.
Well, there you said start the offense. Right now, you got a great play. Here's another calm possession. Like I said, Middle of that first quarter is where the Hornets got really frantic. Everything started falling apart. Then they took a second to slow down. That's when you see the offensive production skyrocket. That needs to be the possessions consistently here in the second quarter.
Dalrymple going to drive baseline. Here's Harden. He'll drive inside. Caleb Harden goes up, and he'll be fouled. And one thing to note about the stands is now the student section does the arguing and not the parents with the referees, as the whistle was just a hair late, but the student section was on them, on the referees right as that play happened. Here is Harden at the free throw line. His first attempt goes through.
Well, in Austin, Mr. Lewis, the principal, was standing right down behind the student section to keep an eye on them before the game started, but here we are, and after he leaves, it all heck breaks loose and a lot of trash talking. That's what I was talking about. Being pesky towards players, getting in their head, and even though considered by Acacia it's not a great thing, in the long run for the Hornets it really is.
Isaacs almost got the steal. It'll be a three-point shot by Atwater. He missed. Rebounded by Phillips. He'll push the pace. He'll go up with the left hand, and what a move by Gabe Phillips to get that in the hoop for the Hornets. That'll be a timeout called by Maize South. Coach Joe Jackson is not happy with his team. We'll be back here on Hornet Studios in 30 seconds.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe for ourselves and for others. The same is true for our hospitals, but right now we are pushed to our limits because this isn't a COVID crisis, it's a health crisis, and we need everyone's help. Wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your distance, and avoid large gatherings. This holiday season, doing your part to protect others is the greatest gift you can give. Lives depend on it.
And back here at Hornet Studios, 5:05 left to go in this first half. Hornets have put on a little run, 7-0 run in this second quarter. What have you seen to cause that?
Well, obviously some big plays, but just the off-ball movement has been incredible here from the Hornets. I talked about the post entry with Noah Simmons. Then we see Dalrymple, who's helped spread the game, who's in now for Simmons. And then the Hornets have just done a great job of spreading the ball, and some of their woes in that first quarter were missing shots. They haven't really done that here in the second quarter. If they keep this up, 3 more consistent quarters of basketball, this is when they find themselves a dominating victory.
Right here, Scott trying to work against Dalrymple. Dalrymple plays great defense, almost a 5-second call, but it's into Atwater. Hornets defense is pesky, it's good, and Coach Brandon Wolf, the defensive guy for this team, said they're on the bridge of becoming an elite defense in high school basketball. Right there, an offensive board by the Mavericks, and then Parker Scott makes the Hornets pay as he knocks down a 3.
Well, that's the toughest thing right there. Hornets have done a great job on the offensive boards. The difference has been the defensive boards. That's been why they've lost some of their games, is the defensive boards, and it's plays like that that change the course of a game.
And right there, Phillips missed the jumper. Scott gonna push the pace. He'll throw it up. He's out of control. It should be a charge, and it is. That's Caleb Harden's second on the game, and too many to count for this year.
Well, and that, I told you, Austin, halfway through this season, the Hornets had already had more charges taken this year than they did all of last year. We know how influential that is. Caleb Harden has done a great job of that this year. And as I talked about with Eli Isaacs, that's what leaders do. They make the plays for their team. And sure, they'll take a little bit of credit for it, but overall, that just changes the momentum in this gym.
2-man game as 2 Hornets are on the same side of the court, one of them being Simmons, who has the ball there, post move, and gets the 2 points.
Well, Austin, that's what I'm talking about. The pesky defense, the hands in the arms of Noah Simmons. Right there, he predicted it. Inside, pulls the ball in early, and then gets around. He understands there's going to be hands on the ball when he's trying to get a post entry or trying to get the ball in the hoop. Right there, he learns from it, avoids it, gets the bucket.
Harden missed a 3-point shot right there, but Hornets got a steal on the other end while you were talking, Caleb. Here's Atwater. He'll find Buchanan, and Gabe Phillips stopped the dunk, but Buchanan will head to the free throw line. He didn't get the points, and so This could be a momentum shifting play that was just stopped right there by Gabe Phillips. That's only his first personal foul, too. Only the fourth called on the Hornets. Here is Buchanan at the free throw line.
Well, and Austin, as you said, certainly not that big of a foul. I mean, his first, he knows that, and stopping a dunk that, as you said, could shift the momentum. Maize South has just as much of a student section as this Hornets team does, and that's going to be big, those little things.
Right there, a missed free throw, so Phillips did stop 2 points, and it only amounted to one. Buchanan's free throws. Here's Isaacs. Into the corner, he'll find, that's Dalrymple. He's trying to find Phillips. Great defense right there from Shields. Ashley, a good thought, but the Hornets couldn't hang on to it. A Buchanan steal. Here's Fitzpatrick with it. He is trying to work against this Hornets defense.
Well, I talked about it during pregame. The Mavericks right now are attacking. They're playing high pace to their liking, and they're pushing the pace, making this Hornets team frantic. As I talked about in that first quarter, slow the offense down, take a breather, stay calm, especially in a playoff game, Austin. Those are vital keys.
All right, here the Hornets still maintain a 5-point lead inside. Simmons will go up, he missed, and then Dalrymple, the easy 2 points underneath the basket. That'll be a timeout called by Valley Center. Coach Unruh liking what he sees, but he needs his team. He sees something on the defensive side that he needs to talk to his team about. We'll be back here on Hornet Studios when play resumes. And with 2:13 to go in this first half, the Hornets did a good job to win the second quarter up to this point. Caleb, what have you seen that the Hornets need to keep on doing to affect this Maize South team?
Well, I talked about it in that first quarter, early on in the second. Fluid movement, fluid off-ball movement has been their key so far on the offensive side. Finishing, cutting around the post entry, crashing the boards hard, and that's been their key so far this season, and that's what's paid off on the offensive side. Defensively, they haven't been that ball hockey team like I've usually seen them play. They played great defense up to this point. 16 points and a half is amazing to hold this Maize South team to that. But they just haven't been that ball hockey team we've seen them do in the past. And not saying they're going to lose if they don't do this, but it would certainly electrify the game, make it much more fun if they're able to find that again.
Here are the Maize South Mavericks on offense. Atwater trying to work against Isaacs. He goes up and inside, but he missed. Offensive board by Colin Shields, but a block right there as Noah Simmons gives the stare down to Colin Shields on the inside.
Well, there it is after the timeout. If you want to gain the momentum back, there's always got to be that one play. That right there with the block and then the stare down. That's the momentum shifting play. Hornets had the momentum before the timeout, and they're trying to keep it into the final minutes of this second quarter. That's going to be big.
And here was Atwater to Fitzpatrick. Buchanan got it. Back to Fitzpatrick. He's going to take the three. Air ball was wide open shot. The student section going to let him know about that one. Here's Phillips back to Isaacs. 1:30 to go in this second quarter. Hornets have a 7-point lead. Isaacs trying to work against Atwater. That'll be 5 seconds. I don't think Isaacs knew what was going on with the counting, and that'll be a turnover right there. Ball goes to Maize South. Checking back in is Parker Scott for the Mavericks. He's hit 2 threes in this game so far.
Well, and that's certainly big. I talked about him being one of my impact players, and he's certainly been a leader on this court. He's been in this situation, as you talked about. He's been starting since he was a freshman, and so he knows how it feels to be in this electrifying court. Hopefully, for the Mavericks' sake, he can provide some experience.
Right there, beautiful steal by Isaacs, who found Harden. Back to Isaacs for the layup.
Well, I talked about the Hornets staying calm, slowing it down every once in a while. I'm not saying slow down the momentum, slow down the pace, They just need to take a breather every once in a while. A play like that from Eli Isaacs, that's big every time, and it completely changes the mindset of the team.
Isaacs going to drive in. He goes up with the right hand. He missed. And now 42 seconds to go. Parker Scott goes up and underneath. Another block for the 6'7" Noah Simmons. The Hornets can either score here or wait out and get the last shot of this first half. Under 30 seconds to play now.
Well, Austin, it would be a kill shot right now if the Hornets were able to get a last-second three. If they will is yet to be determined, but that is my biggest thing. Go for it. If they miss it, so be it. If they make it, that's how you start sealing some momentum for the second half.
The Hornets start the play at 8 seconds. Here they are. Harden going to work against the Maize South defense. Here's a three. And just like you said, Caleb, the kill shot to end the first half is by Gabe Phillips in the corner with his college coaches watching him. And it's a 28-16 lead here in Valley Center. SubState play will be back at the start of the third quarter.
I'm a patriot and a mechanic, which means I know the difference between a symbol and a tool. The American flag is a symbol of everything that I would die to defend. This is a tool. It says nothing about my politics. I wear it to protect the people that I love. We have a job to do, and this is the right tool for that job.
Welcome to Valley Center, a beautiful, friendly community just 9 miles north of downtown Wichita. Come discover Valley Center and take a walk through historic downtown. Check out unique restaurants, shop at locally owned businesses, or play around at Valley Point Golf Course. Valley Center is building on its proud heritage while welcoming new ideas, new businesses, and new families. Valley Center will exceed your expectations. Discover Valley Center, an incredible place to call home.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe. We all want Kansas businesses, schools, and other services to safely remain open. So we all need to do our part and encourage others to join us. To keep Kansas open this holiday season, wear your mask, wash your hands, avoid large social gatherings, and keep your distance. Kansas businesses depend on it.
Scoring in the first half for the Maize Mavericks. We have 6 points by one stop, 2 points by number 2. The Mavericks, 5 points by number 3, Atwater, 3 points by number 22, Buchanan. For a total of
back here to Hornet Studios. 28-16 is your score in SubState basketball as your Hornets completely dominated this Maize South team in that second quarter. What do you see, Caleb, statistics-wise?
Well, before I get into the statistics piece, Austin, I've talked about all year how the Hornets have been a team who have played well with momentum. In the first quarter, streaky first quarter for both squads. 12-12 was the score after one. 16-4 in that second quarter was the difference right there, and that's why we have the score we have right now. As for statistically, Hornets did everything right. I talked about their shooting woes against Andover. They shot an incredible percent, 46% from the field. They shot 43% from three-point range. They did everything right shooting-wise. They had 22 rebounds to the Mavericks' 11. I mean, there's really no critiques here, Austin. They had 7 assists. They were able to spread the love. And, I mean, it was just an amazing second quarter specifically that kept them going. As for scoring specifics, Gabe Phillips had 11, Eli Isaacs with 8, Noah Simmons with 2, Dalrymple with 5, and Harden with 2. And then for Maize South, they struggled shooting-wise. They shot 24% from the field, 23 from two-point range. And just not a great shooting quarter there, Austin. That's going to be the hump they have to get over. I talked about it with, I believe it was Eisenhower, but that's the hump they have to get over. If they're able to knock down those shots, this is a better game, but they just didn't do that in that second quarter. As for player scoring, Scott had 6, Fitzpatrick had 2, Isaiah Atwater had 5, 3 came from Buchanan, and that rounds off the 16 points from the Mavericks. But there's a lot to be changed here from the Mavericks. Hornets played an impeccable second quarter. If they match that performance here in the third, then I would say it's good as a win here.
And then it will be Valley Center ball to start this third quarter. Braden Dalrymple set to pass it in. It looks like Klein is already going to guard Phillips pretty heavily. Here's Caleb Harden working against Scott. A trap right there. Maize South wants to trap. The Hornets going to expose from the three-point line. It was Harden who missed, and then Dalrymple missed too on the inside. Here's Atwater. And he tried to find Buchanan, but a steal for the Hornets.
Well, look at that trap on the first possession. Bold move there by the Mavericks. I understand why. As I said, come out and attack. That's what they did on that first defensive possession. Hornets were ready for it, clearly.
And right there, almost an offensive board for the Hornets, but Caleb Harden was in a situation underneath where he traveled. Here's Atwater in this Maize South offense, ready to work. They only scored 4 points in the second quarter. Let's credit that a lot to this Hornets defense. It's been so good all season. Right there, Shields missed, trying to work over the big height difference right there in Noah Simmons, and then it's a Hornets ball.
Well, and the tough thing about Buchanan playing outside is it forces a 6'2" guy like Shields to play inside, and even though he's quick and has a lot of experience, he just lacks the size against a guy like Noah Simmons.
Right there, Isaacs takes it in himself. He'll be fouled. He missed the shot, so he's shooting 2 from the charity stripe. And Isaacs first rolls out.
And he shot 60% from the charity stripe so far this year.
And here's his second free throw for Eli Isaacs. That one rolls in. 29-16 our score. 13-point lead for this Hornets team, but we know from Maize South, just playing them in the past, no lead is safe with this streaky shooting team. Here's over to Klein to Buchanan. Gonna drive baseline. He'll go up with the right hand. Wild shot. Way off the mark. Rebounded by Phillips. He'll push the pace himself. Weaves throughout the defense. It's gonna be an Isaacs 3. That one missed. Rebounded by Harden. He got blocked by Scott. And so here comes Maize South back on offense.
Well, Austin, so far, neither team has shot well. And if that's the case, then this is gonna be a stalemate third quarter.
Right there, that'll be a foul called on Caleb Harden. That's his first personal, excuse me. It should be his third personal. He had 2 in that first half. Dalrymple heads to the bench as Cade Wilson checks in. Here is Atwater inside. He'll find Shields out to Buchanan, who's going to take a 3. That one off the front of the rim, rebounded. It was tipped by Klein by Phillips, and so here is Gabe Phillips. He'll take it himself, go on the inside, and that'll be a foul called as he's headed to the free throw line now. We saw, or excuse me, they won't be a shot, so it'll be Valley Center ball underneath their own basket. We saw in that first half, Caleb, not a lot of fouls were called, and it was a very physical game, but knowing this Hornets team, they like that.
Well, that's certainly for sure. Obviously, the style of defense, an aggressive defense that they play, they want it to be a physical game. They want to get in the heads of their opponents. And it worked out, fortunately enough for them, that the refs just weren't calling a lot in that first half. They were letting them play for the most part, which is typical for a sub-state game. But, I mean, that's big. That's very impactful.
Right there, Isaacs, a spin move with the right hand. He puts it up, and he gets the Hornets another 2 points. Here's Scott. Gonna drive in with the right hand. He'll take it up against Simmons. He missed it. And then a defensive board right there. Here comes the Hornets on offense. Isaac's going to put it up. No fouls were called. Ball's flying in the air. Harden may come down with it. Nope, it's Atwater who has it. And then finally, that'll be a foul called on Cade Wilson. No fouls were called when I think there could have been a couple called. And then Wilson right there just running alongside Atwater got the foul called on him.
Well, and Austin, I want to go back to that last play right there with Eli Isaacs inside the spin move. The biggest thing that separates the Hornets from other teams when they're shooting poorly is they're able to get inside. They're scoring a lot of layups. I mean, a miss right there, but that's been their key so far this season. And as far for the Mavericks, as we talked about, they've struggled shooting. It's because they've taken a lot of threes today.
Right there, a couple missed layups on either side, and then Gabe Phillips finishes off with authority on the inside. He gets up with the left hand, gets the layup, and he's headed to the free throw line. And just retrack a little bit, Isaacs missed a layup that you don't normally see, and then it was Braden Dalrymple and I think maybe Gabe Phillips, they both had a hand in there to block Klein, who was about to probably dunk that.
Well, in Austin, that's what you do, those extra effort plays. Not quite the LeBron pen block, but it's a block. It's an effort block right there, and then you go down and take advantage of that. That is ideal right there, and we know how good that Phillips is at the free throw lines. That's just impeccable, and those are game-changing plays right there.
Right now, the Hornets showing why they're the number 2 seed in this sub-state. Buchanan trying to work against Phillips, so spin move, that'll be another block, and it's a frenzy on the inside with the Hornets. Everyone's getting blocks right now. That one getting by Noah Simmons, who's had a big game.
Well, we see 6'2" Phillips on the inside. We have Simmons, 6'7" on the inside, 6'4" Dalrymple. This team has so much length, and not to mention the athleticism. It's going to be tough to score on the inside. Fortunately enough for the Hornets, the Mavericks haven't really matched anything on the outside.
Oh, right there, Parker Scott drove in. He saw the mismatch with Simmons and took it. The Hornets, technically the shot was blocked again, but it will be a foul called. So Parker Scott, who's a phenomenal free throw shooter, at the line for Maize South. And that one barely rolls in. Caleb Harden checks into the game for the Hornets.
Well, Austin, the first point of the third quarter there for the Mavericks, and comes on a free throw. Not their ideal start to this quarter. They came out, they wanted to attack initially, and it just didn't happen.
Well, that'll be a timeout called by Maize South. We'll be back here after a short break.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe for ourselves and for others. The same is true for our hospitals, but right now we are pushed to our limits because this isn't a COVID crisis, it's a health crisis, and we need everyone's help. Wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your distance, and avoid large gatherings. This holiday season, doing your part to protect others is the greatest gift you can give. Lives depend on it.
And back here, it will be Valley Center ball after a made free throw. And Maize South going to put the pressure on the Hornets, but Valley Center hasn't struggled a lot with full court pressure this season. And right there, right as I said that, the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Dalrymple, and then Byron Fitzpatrick did a great job, put his body on the line to get that one.
Well, I will respectfully disagree with you with the pressure thing, Austin. In the half court, they've done great handling pressure. It's the full court pressure that's really gotten them. Look at the height scheme. This is going to be a challenge for the Hornets. How do they respond here late in this third quarter?
Right there, an offensive board by Gabe Phillips over the tallest Maverick, who is number 32, Josh Queen. Here's Caleb Harden. Tries to get the pass to the inside. Ball's tipped around. Finally into the hands of Parker Scott. Try to go up with the right hand, and he does. He missed the shot, but he's headed back to the free throw line for Maize South.
Well, Austin, this is the slowly but surely. We see the Hornets frantic on the offensive side, and it hasn't been the way that we've seen the Mavericks score so far in this game, but I mean, it's working out. I mean, slowly getting points. They're getting some defensive stops. That's when you see them chipping away at this lead. If you're on the Hornets, you got to be prepared for a push here.
Here's Isaiah Atwater. Checks into the game. He'll take the place of Queen. There's the second free throw right here by Scott. He knocks that one down after missing the first. 15-point ball game. The Hornets have only scored 6 to the Mavericks 3 points in this quarter. Here's that pressure. The Hornets trying to get it across half court. Ball does go into the hands of Dalrymple, and he gets the easy 2 points.
Well, and this is where a transition-worthy team thrives after a press, scrappy ball play, and they're able to get the bucket.
And Dalrymple missed right there, but a finish by Noah Simmons as the Hornets took an early, on a 4-0 run.
Well, Austin, that right there is huge. As I talked about the offensive rebounding so far this year for the Hornets, that has been big. And then Noah Simmons, the big man in transition, just so smooth, so fluid in transition. That's what's helped this team win games this year.
Right there, Schmelzley checks into the game. He'll take place of Simmons, but Dalrymple got his hands on the inside and caused a jump ball right there. It'll be Maize South ball. Here's Atwater trying to work against Schmelzley. And Isaac's a steal. Davin Schmelzley tossed it up, and Atwater gets the steal now. He'll go up against a couple of Hornets. Dalrymple may have got a piece of it again. And now, Valley Center, sigh of relief as they turn the ball over a couple times, but right now, Maize South is just not hitting anything.
Well, I talked about it in that first half with Gabe Phillips ending 3. Here's the kill shot. Looking to go up by a large margin, 19 at the moment, looking to go up by possibly 21 or 22. They're looking to get this here in the third quarter and seal this game away.
Right there, an offensive board by Eli Isaacs. He goes up, and now it's a 21-point ball game. 2:25 to go in the third. Fitzpatrick going to take a 3, way off. Isaacs tried to get the ball up the floor quickly, but the Hornets turn it over. Here's Atwater with it. Trying to make a move, he'll drive baseline, he'll go up and over Schmelzley and get the 2 points for Maize South.
Well, the press has certainly worked out here for the Mavericks, but the shots haven't been falling, Austin. We've talked about that in the first half and the third. So far here in the third quarter, the Mavericks haven't been able to knock down their shots, and typically they're a high percentage shooting team, but it's just not here tonight.
And that'll be a foul, not a foul. Yes, it will be a foul called. That'll be on 21, Colin Shields. That's his third personal. And that's the 4th team foul called on Maize South. Substitutions for the Hornets will consist of Kanoa Ashley, Cade Wilson, Noah Simmons, and then for Maize South, we had Ben Askren into the game. Inside, Gabe Phillips, a Euro step with the left hand, gets the easy 2 points, smooth like butter on the inside for Gabe Phillips.
Well, you took my line there, Austin, but that was just amazing. The fake pass and then the great finish by Gabe Phillips. You understand why he's going to play college ball. I mean, that was just amazing.
Inside, that'll be a foul called on Cade Wilson. That's his 3rd. And that basket was good by Fitzpatrick, who's also at the line shooting 1. That'll be a timeout called by Valley Center. They've scored a lot of points, but they have turned the ball over at a consistent rate. Coach Unrail not happy with what he sees on that category. We'll be back when play resumes here on Hornet Studios. And a 42-23 lead for your Valley Center Hornets. Caleb, if you're Maize South, what are you telling your team? And if you're the Hornets, Coach Under on that huddle, how do you keep pushing on?
Well, if you're the Mavericks, first of all, finish the basketball. That's going to be their biggest thing. in a win over Andover Central. They shot 45% from the field. Pretty solid margin, I would say so myself. That's a great margin to shoot at. We talked about their 24% from the field in that first half, and it's certainly, I don't know the specifics right now, but considering how much they've scored here in this third quarter, it's been very similar, and it's not been what they've wanted to do. Calm down, regroup, get some baskets inside. I would say put Buchanan inside, try and get some post buckets, but you can't continue taking threes at the same rate. If you're the Hornets, keep on pushing, continue making baskets, hold on to the basketball a little bit more. The press got to them with the turnovers a little bit, but just continue doing what you're doing.
Well, number 21, Colin Shields, will be called for his 4th personal on this Maize South team, so Queen will come in for him. And it'll be Valley Center ball. The Hornets right there, it was a foul called as Noah Simmons may got the bucket. Right there, a defense right there from number 33, Seals. And here come the Mavericks on the other end. Atwater to Shields, he'll take a 3. He missed, rebounded by Ashley, and then 6'7" Queen versus 5'8" Kanoa Ashley. Queen will get the foul called. We see it with Valley Center's Noah Simmons. Just a little foul right there, a little nudge, but when the size difference is that much, they're going to call the foul every time.
Well, we've talked about that. That's obviously not unfortunate to be that tall, but it does have its negatives.
Dalrymple missed the 3 as the Hornets had a 3-on-1 situation. Here's Fitzpatrick over to Shields. He'll take it inside with the right hand. He gets that to go for Maize South. And that'll be a foul called as Isaacs falls hard. And that foul called on the Mavericks, so that will be free throws coming up, 1-1 for Eli Isaacs.
Well, certainly had a moment of panic, Isaacs fought for a second, but he's going to be a big player. He was a big player here tonight, obviously with 8 points in that first half, and I would argue he's going to be one of the biggest players if the Hornets do end up having to play Maize, which will be likely, but it's going to be big. He's going to be a big player throughout the course of this season.
Isaacs' second free throw. He knocks down both. 44-25 our score. It'll be Maize South now with just under a minute to play here in this third quarter. Atwater drives in over to Askren. He has it in the corner. He'll take the jumper. He knocks it down for the Mavericks.
Well, Atwater continues to be a dominating force. The sophomore, he's so quick inside. Not to mention, his pull-up game is incredible. He's got an incredibly smooth jumper, and he's going to be a guy to watch out for in years to come.
All right there, Dalrymple will be at the free throw line after a hard foul. As the foul will be called on Seals. And Dalrymple missed his first. 37.3 to go in this third quarter.
And Dalrymple shooting 49% from the charity stripe on the year.
And Dalrymple's second in, and he'll head to the bench as Cade Wilson checks in for Valley Center. The Hornets still having an 18-point lead in this third quarter after that free throw.
Well, Austin, I want to point out something real quick over on the bench. A lot of the younger guys on the bench at the moment, but they're all talking, they're all laughing, they're trash-talking players and all those kind of things. That's how a unit operates, all the starters getting along with the backups, and they're all such a great team mentality, and that's what's led them to this amazing season.
Right there, Caleb Harden will get the foul called on him. That foul will be called on Fitzpatrick, but Caleb Harden, who it was on, and he'll be at the free throw line for Valley Center with 16.1 to go in the third. It's a 1-1, the last 1-1 shot for Valley Center in the whole fourth quarter, Caleb. The Hornets will be shooting double bonus. Rebound off the missed shot. And Buchanan and company will have the last shot of the third quarter if they so choose. The Hornets playing tough defense. 5 seconds for Atwater. He'll take it in. Finds Seals. He's going to shoot the three. He missed. Rebound. Doesn't matter because that's the end of the third period as your Valley Center Hornets lead 45-27 here in round 1 of SubState boys basketball. Hornet Studios for the start of the final 8 minutes in this game. Probably the last home game the Hornets will have this season. Caleb, as right there, it's a steal for this Maize South team. Here's Parker Scott over to Byron Fitzpatrick.
Well, Austin, the Hornets really put the nail in the coffin there in that third quarter. And I was talking about some of our previous seasons earlier in the day. It's usually been the third quarter that has been the killer for the Hornets. It just shows how far they've come. They've become a much mentally tougher team, and they're really doing everything right at the moment. Everything's on track for the game, which is likely against Maize, or at Maize, this coming Saturday, but that is going to be big. Continue heating up here. Continue playing at 110% going into the fourth and final quarter.
Well, Caleb, the last update we have was about 30 minutes ago, as Maize was up 30-22 over Eisenhower at a halftime. We'll let you know when we get that third quarter score. And here is Valley Center on offense as Isaacs got that last bucket while you were talking for the Hornets. Here he is driving inside. Crafty pass to Harden, but he didn't shoot it. Harden, who's 0 for 3 on the night behind the arc. Inside, Gabe Phillips drives in. He missed, no foul called. The ball's on the floor, and that may be a foul called on Eli Isaacson. It will be the 7th foul called on this Hornets team right there. And so Braden Dalrymple checks in. Eli Isaacs now picks up his 3rd. And that's only the 6th foul called, or excuse me, yeah, the 6th foul called on the Hornets. So it will be another foul right there as I say that. And Eli Isaacs will now pick up his 4th, which an impact player for this Hornets team he is. He'll have to head to the bench here in the fourth quarter, and now it will be a 1-and-1 for Maize South.
Well, and going into Maize next week, likely Maize, maybe Eisenhower. No matter what, deep in the playoffs, you're going to need to be able to operate without your best player. Coach Unrout been installing some drills where they don't have Gabe Phillips in. Actually, they're going against Gabe Phillips or Eli Isaacs. Just understanding how to operate with any group on the floor, and they've done a pretty good job of that so far this season. That's just been one of the things that Gabe Phillips, Eli Isaacs getting 31, 32 minutes a game, which is as much as you can get in regulation. That's going to be the biggest thing is as the playoffs go on, it's the teams that have the depth who win the state titles.
Right here, the Hornets break the press. Here's Dalrymple in the corner. He'll find Phillips. He's wide open. He goes up with the right hand. May have been blocked by Buchanan. Simmons, he goes up. He missed. Fitzpatrick will be fouled. And the Hornets just picking up fouls left and right, kind of like this Maize South team did in that third quarter. Now the Hornets doing it in the fourth. That'll be the 4th personal called on Cade Wilson as Isaacs checks back in. Both players who check in and out right there have 4 fouls for the Hornets.
Well, Austin, fortunately enough for the Hornets, the Mavericks still aren't converting their shots. So that's when it gets scary. You got to be prepared for that if you're the Hornets. If the Mavericks start knocking down their shots, because they're not playing bad basketball other than that, but you got to be prepared for that, continuing to push the pace, push the score. They haven't scored in quite a while at the moment. That's going to be the biggest thing, is how do you seal off this contest?
Ben Askren comes back in, Jaron Askren back in for the Mavericks. And Harden will find Isaacs triple teamed, and that leaves Gabe Phillips wide open. He'll bring it down the court. He's going to slow it down as the Hornets can waste just a little bit of clock. They're still going to play hard, but they don't need to force anything inside. It's Simmons. He'll go up with the right hand. He gets that one to go fall, and it's 49-34 now.
Well, this is when you love having a guy like Noah Simmons. He's found his groove against this Maize South team, and you just want those easy buckets. You want the high percentage buckets, and that's what a big postman like Noah Simmons is able to give you in the late going.
Right here, the Hornets still breaking the press. This time, it's Phillips who did it by himself. He'll find Simmons. Buchanan made that shot on the other end moments ago. Here's Gabe Phillips out for 3. Off the front of the rim, barely nicked the rim right there. And that will be a charge called as Caleb Harden draws his 3rd of the game. And right there, that'll be called on number 4, Fitzpatrick. That's his 4th in this game. So after a first half, there wasn't a ton of fouls called, Caleb. It was only 6-4. Now in the second half, 10 and 8 by both these two teams.
Well, and I talked about early in that first half, and we've certainly seen it from the Mavericks here, is expanding the pressure. You're going to be more aggressive here in the second half, especially after a second quarter performance like they had. You expect Maize South to be very aggressive, and the Hornets have very well matched it.
Parker Scott drives in, gets the layup over Simmons. Isaacs not fouled. He'll find Simmons. The Hornets working on this line. Finally, a timeout will be called on the sideline as it's Coach Unruh. He's not happy with the ref, saying he called that timeout a while ago. It'll be a full timeout. We'll be back when play resumes.
I'm a patriot and a mechanic, which means I know the difference between a symbol and a tool. The American flag is a symbol of everything that I would die to defend. This is a tool. It says nothing about my politics. I wear it to protect the people that I love. We have a job to do, and this is the right tool for that job.
Here with 4:46 to go in this 4th quarter. Caleb, we just got an update as the Maize Eagles are on top by 54-42 by 12 points against Eisenhower, who doesn't have Nick Hogan in that game. And so right here, the Hornets, they're up about the same amount. They're up 11 in a game with 4:46 to go. But you can see off that score alone, Maize scores a lot more points than what this Hornets team does, Caleb. That'll be an interesting one coming up.
Well, Austin, you mentioned the scoring margins are pretty similar. If the Hornets continue to play the same, it's going to be a lot different. Maize South is certainly finding their rhythm. They're playing that back and forth game we've seen them play the entire year, catching the Hornets off guard, getting them to play frantic. And they did it for the timeout. We'll see what adjustments are made, but at the moment, that's how the Mavericks are playing, and it's certainly paying off.
Here's Noah Simmons. He was fouled just moments ago. He's at the free throw line now, knocks down his first. We have a 12-point ball game.
Well, Austin, if you're the Hornets, right now you got to make a stop, and a singular stop could change the game. This is still 12 points is the difference. Now 13 with 4.5 minutes left. That's plenty of time left to be played. Still a game, Austin. You have to keep that in mind if you're the Hornets, and everything goes into this just like we saw in the second and third quarter.
Here is Fitzpatrick. On it to Scott. Back to Fitzpatrick, guarded by Simmons. He'll go with the right hand inside. Looks like Simmons got hit in the face. Here's the Hornets trying to break the press.
Well, that's what athleticism will do to you if you're Byron Fitzpatrick. The goal on a drive, if you're a basketball player, is to initiate contact as the offender. Right there, Fitzpatrick goes up and then he initiates contact because of that height, that vertical, that athleticism. That was a great play by Fitzpatrick.
Right here, the Hornets almost turn it over, but Caleb Harden regains possession. It's an 11-point game. Inside, a 3-point shot, by Harden. Almost an offensive board, but finally, as Noah Simmons was going for the ball, he hit the leg of Buchanan. And so now Buchanan will be shooting free throws on the other end. Like we talked about, both teams, because of the fouling, will have free throws. The next foul for Maize South will be double bonus, but as of right now, it's only a 1-and-1 for Buchanan.
Well, Austin, that's obviously going to come down big in the late going. And the Hornets are a team who shoots 61% from the charity stripe. I don't have updated stats on the Mavericks, but those free throws, as we talked about, stopped clock. Those are big in the long run.
Right here, after the missed Buchanan free throw, the Hornets back on offense. Out to Harden. As Isaacs thought about the three, he'll drive in, find Phillips, and gave Phillips miss. An offensive board for the Hornets, but Simmons lost it, and that'll be a foul called on Noah Simmons. And there's a lot of contact on the inside, but the fouls usually come after the shots go up and on, kind of the not on the inside. It's mostly kind of been around the three-point arc. The fouls have been called. Getting it past half court, the fouls have been called. So on the inside, the referees are still letting both teams play a little bit. Right here, Buchanan, hasn't made a free throw since the first quarter for Maize South. As his team's down 11, could make it 10 with this second free throw.
Well, he needs it. He needs to feel that of making a shot. There it goes. Now he's got that little bit of momentum. He's going to come down with a resurged type of scoring play. Expect him to do something on this next possession.
Right here, the Hornets break the press. It's a man-to-man press, and if Isaacs or Phillips can beat their man, it's pretty simple for Valley Center. Here's Harden in the corner. He'll be trapped. He'll drive baseline. No fouls have been called. Ball's on the floor. Harden comes up and then puts it up for Valley Center. The ball was at his foot. He grabbed it and turned around and shot it without thinking. Great basketball play right there from Harden.
Well, and then the experienced players matching each other right there. That's big, and we're down to a 10-point game. This is certainly getting a whole lot more interesting, Austin.
Well, a 10-point game it is. It'll be a full timeout called by Maize South. 2:47 to go in this game. You're not going to want to miss it, so stay tuned.
Welcome to Valley Center, a beautiful, friendly community just 9 miles north of downtown Wichita. Come discover Valley Center and take a walk through historic downtown. Check out unique restaurants, shop at locally owned businesses, or play around at Valley Point Golf Course. Valley Center is building on its proud heritage while welcoming new ideas, new businesses, and new families. Valley Center will exceed your expectations. Discover Valley Center, an incredible place to call home.
Well, at least we know if this game gets boring, we can talk about Maize.
Noah Simmons looks like he's shaking up a little bit. And this Hornets team, what do they need to do, Caleb, to put this one away? And ultimately, from what it looks like on our updates, going to take on Maize.
Well, and you mentioned that they're still up by 12, but biggest thing is don't stop pushing. I don't care if the score is 1, 10-100. Right now, this is playoffs. This is do or die. And actually mentioning that, I saw something on ESPN where the high school coach got fired for winning a game 100, or fined for winning a game 161-2. That's the mentality the Hornets need to have. Never stop pushing. And right now it's 10. Their goal should be 20 by the end of the game, because you have to set that mentality. You have to set that tone for the entire length of the playoffs, Austin. It starts right now.
Well, Fitzpatrick heads to the bench as he fouls out of this game. Like you said, Caleb, I think that's the mentality that sports need to come back to. That's about the 90s style basketball, that mentality. And that's what sports need to go back to. Here's Isaacs at the free throw line. He misses first. Here he is, the second free throw coming up. And that one off the back iron, rebounded by Maize South. Still a 10-point ball game. And Scott drives in. He goes up with the right hand over Phillips. And now it's 8 points.
Well, this is what I was talking about. Parker Scott developing scorer. And right there, he's a leader, 4-year starter. And right before the timeout, he came up clutch, forced the Hornets to call a timeout. Here come the Mavericks. This is when I said it gets scary.
Well, the Hornets, they're trying to stall, and as we know, it never works to perfection. It may win you a game, but like you said, you just got to keep pushing. Here's Isaacs trying to work against a couple of defenders, and no call right there. He goes up for the layup. He missed, though, and that's a rebound. But it's a jump ball. Possession goes to Maize South. And there's been an opportunity to call about 4 different things in the last couple of minutes, Caleb, but nothing has been called.
Well, and I will defend Eli Isaacs right there. I saw the ball come up, initially thought double dribble travel, whatever you want to call it, but I will say the defender did touch the ball, which by rule makes it legal to keep running like that.
Atwater inside, blocked by Dalrymple. That's huge for the Hornets. Minute 33 to go. Isaacs going to push the pace, find Harden on the inside. And another steal, no call. Isaacs is on the floor. The referee walks right past him. And Buchanan on the other side goes up. He missed the first shot, makes the second.
And the score is 6. This is what I'm saying. Don't stop pushing. This is a much more interesting game now, which as a basketball fan you like, but as a Hornet fan, this is very nerve-wracking.
Phillips going to go inside, and finally a foul will be called as Gabe Phillips will head to the free throw line. Huge free throws for the Kansas Westland commit coming up with 1 minute and 1 second. Maize South going to group together, talk things over.
Well, in Austin, I mentioned it earlier, Maize South has a parent and student section as well. They're arguing that call as you just forementioned, but this has been a loud gym. This has been a COVID isn't a thing type of gym, and I mean, it's really made the game a lot more interesting, especially in the late going. 8 points is the difference here, but we've seen how quick that can change.
8-point game, under 1 minute to play. Here is Maize South's Klein over to Atwater. He'll drive baseline, go up over Simmons. He missed, rebounded by Dalrymple. Maize South trying to get a steal right here.
Well, and right now, they're just trying to stop the clock. 40 seconds left. They're going to have to start fouling.
And into the hands of Dalrymple the ball goes. He's a 60% free throw shooter for this Hornets team. He's at the line now, 35.5. Clutch time, or clutch moments coming up. Caleb, we talk about championship basketball. The Hornets, if they want to be SubState champion or state champion, they have to knock down these free throws.
Well, and little things like that, that's what puts the game away. And fortunately, every one of these players is conditioned enough to do just that. I would almost guarantee that any of the players on the bench at the moment could at least hit one of those free throws in crunch time. But that's what I'm talking about. Operating as a unit is big in the late going here.
And Caleb, we're getting I believe chants, and everyone's jumping up and standing up. 21.7 seconds left. And Caleb, I think we've been conditioned as announcers to not say something too early, but the student section, this is their first game. They've been waiting all season to say something like that, and it couldn't come at a sweeter time. But right now, the Hornets the game's totally not over. 21 seconds is a lot of time, but making these free throws is huge.
Well, now there's a mountain to climb, Austin, and I hate to be a pessimist, but great win here at home. Excuse me. Now the challenge is to travel to Maize, beat one of the best teams in the state, a team who's already beat Maize South, a team who early on in the season beat Andover. I mean, this is a great team. They have guys like Winston Bing, all-league, incredible shooter, Jacob Hanna, who can jump the roof out, Avery Johnson, who's played great in the post. It's going to be a tough one, and unfortunately we won't be able to live stream it, but right now they got that victory high. Ride that into the game versus Maize.
Right here, steal, and that'll do it as your Valley Center Hornets beat Maize South, and 58-47 is your final score. Just to recap, Caleb, we won't be able to stream that game here on Hornet Studios. It'll have to be on NFHS, and that'll be it from us here tonight. It was a great time calling this game, great win. Thank you for tuning in. But Saturday, your Hornets take on the Maize Eagles, and as the Maize Eagles won 66-51 against Eisenhower, so it was a for sure matchup, Caleb. What do you see in that game?
Well, obviously it's going to be a high-scoring one. The question is not how do the Hornets outscore the Eagles, it's how do they defend the Eagles. They have to be able to contain every one of those incredible players, the multiple D1 commits, the multiple, just overall amazing athletes. That's going to be my biggest thing. And it will be Saturday at 3, so keep that in mind. But Austin, this is our last stream. I'd like to give a shout out to Dominic Santiago on the TriCaster, Ryan Goebel and Aiden Smith who ran cameras tonight. But it's been a great season, and tough to see our streaming part of it end.
Yeah, Caleb. And even though our streaming part ended, couldn't have been a better season to end on, as your Hornets move on to 16-5, and they're headed to second round of SubState. That game, if they can win that game, they will be going to the state tournament. That'll be it from us here at Hornet Studios. We thank you for tuning in, and that'll be it from us.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe. We all want Kansas businesses, schools, and other services to safely remain open. So we all need to do our part.
At 1-800-JUNK-PRO, we make dumpster rental easy. We rent small, medium, and large residential driveway-friendly dumpsters. No surprises, no hidden charges. Our dumpster rental rates include delivery and 7 days of rental time. 1-800-JUNK-PRO Dumpster Rental. We deliver it, you fill it, we pick it up.
Whenever we go to a local event here in Valley, we all want good food for reasonable prices with a friendly face behind it. Well, luckily, there's an option. The Food Guy. Located in a signature truck, keep an eye out for him at the next public event you make an appearance at. Or if you're hosting an event yourself and want a friendly catering option. Or if you have other questions, you can call him at 316-253-8832.
We are dedicated to helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones. Each creation contains a small amount of cremains, capturing the essence in a swirl of color and ashes, sealed forever within beautiful art glass. Ash weights provide a unique and beautiful way to hold and treasure your memories while honoring the spirit.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe. We all want Kansas businesses, schools, and other services to safely remain open. So we all need to do our part and encourage others to join us. To keep Kansas open this holiday season, wear your mask, wash your hands, avoid large social gatherings, and keep your distance. Kansas businesses depend on it.
One of a parent's biggest worries is letting their teen get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's why getting professional, personal instruction is so important. The Wichita Driving School is licensed by the state of Kansas and offers the most classes per month of any driving school. With the most students trained in Wichita last year, it's obvious students and parents like Wichita Driving School for the convenience
and professional one-on-one instruction.
Wichita Driving School, where you're driven to be the best.
Welcome to Valley Center, a beautiful, friendly community just 9 miles north of downtown Wichita. Come discover Valley Center and take a walk through historic downtown. Check out unique restaurants, shop at locally owned businesses, or play around at Valley Point Golf Course. Valley Center is building on its proud heritage while welcoming new ideas, new businesses, and new families. Valley Center will exceed your expectations. Discover Valley Center, an incredible place to call home.
At 1-800-JUNK-PRO, we make dumpster rental easy. We rent small, medium, and large residential driveway-friendly dumpsters. No surprises, no hidden charges. Our dumpster rental rates include delivery and 7 days of rental time. 1-800-JUNK-PRO Dumpster Rental. We deliver it, you fill it, we pick it up.
Whenever we go to a local event here in Valley, we all want good food for reasonable prices with a friendly face behind it. Well, luckily, there's an option. The Food Guy. Located in a signature truck, keep an eye out for him at the next public event you make an appearance at. Or if you're hosting an event yourself and want a friendly catering option. Or if you have other questions, you can call him at 316-253-8832.
We are dedicated to helping families celebrate the lives of their loved ones. Each creation contains a small amount of cremains, capturing the essence in a swirl of color and ashes, sealed forever within beautiful art glass. Ash weights provide a unique and beautiful way to hold and treasure your memories while honoring the spirit.
We all do things every day to stay healthy and safe. We all want Kansas businesses, schools, and other services to safely remain open. So we all need to do our part and encourage others to join us. To keep Kansas open this holiday season, wear your mask, wash your hands, avoid large social gatherings, and keep your distance. Kansas businesses depend on it.
One of a parent's biggest worries is letting their teen get behind the wheel of a vehicle. That's why getting professional, personal instruction is so important. The Wichita Driving School is licensed by the state of Kansas and offers the most classes per month of any driving school. With the most students trained in Wichita last year, it's obvious students and parents like Wichita Driving School for the convenience
and professional one-on-one instruction.
Wichita Driving School, where you're driven to be the best.
Welcome to Valley Center, a beautiful, friendly community just 9 miles north of downtown Wichita. Come discover Valley Center and take a walk through historic downtown. Check out unique restaurants, shop at locally owned businesses, or play around at Valley Point Golf Course. Valley Center